Greetings and welcome to the Ripple Effect. I am Selena. So I know it has been a while. I'm going to try to catch everybody up. But in my last video, I talked about taking a hiatus and about getting some time alone with God. So what I did was I went into a fast and I really wanted to hear God's voice. I really wanted to find out my exact purpose for my life, why I'm here on YouTube telling all my business, and why I've chosen to pursue the path of being a life coach, to be out there encouraging other single mothers and single women in general. And the discussion I had with the Lord, I'm going to be very real. The discussion I had with the Lord was this. I did not necessarily want to pursue being a life coach for single moms, or just being a, if you will, a motivational speaker, or just having my life out there for everyone to take a peekaboo at. Because in order for me to have a testimony to tell my story, which is personal, it's brutal, it's ugly, it has some parts that those secrets I will take to the grave. Just some things I did not want to put out here for the world to see. And why I was discussing that with the Lord was very honest with me. Like, look, I mean, either you want to do this or you don't. And there was no in between. Now, if anyone who knows me knows my type A personality, if I'm going to do it, let's get it done. If this is where we are, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put everything out there. Hence why I'm back. Because for me, it was more or less like, if I'm going to do it, it is no more holds bar. I think that's the phrase saying, if not, you know what I mean. I'm no longer going to hold back on what I believe God has put in my heart to say. Because I used to tippy toe on different subjects and not really wanting to put it out there, calling the spade a spade, and just really putting it out there, just really changing my channel in the sense of what I really want to say. Because I know some people will probably be offended or their feelings might hurt, but you must understand this is that I'm doing it for the Lord. That's the only reason. The only reason why I'm here. Because I'm being obedient to what God has told me to do. And I'm going to get in depth, talk about things that the church will not talk about, how they are just have women so unprepared for real life. And so for today, the topic I want to get into after I got through the preliminaries is, how can I say this? No more single moms. Do you hear me? Listen good. No more single moms. Now, being that this was very impromptu, I was not planning on posting the video today at all, because I'm still working on just some renovations on the channel, and the Lord told me don't wait. Hey, when the things come in that's changes, they'll come in. But I want you to understand, because I wanted to get the statistics on what we are facing in our society. Not just us, as I speak as a black woman, but just women in general, just the rampant rate of being a single mother. Now, my story, I have spoke about it, and I was a sophomore in college, didn't really know anything about relationships. I didn't know, like, single mom wasn't in my vernacular. It just wasn't. It wasn't anything that I was thinking about that would happen to me, but guess what? It did. And when it happened, let me tell you the story. I can laugh now. I'll tell you what happened. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So I was dating this gentleman my son's father, and we were good. We were friends first, the best way. Everything was all la-di-da, good things. And I was a freshman in college studying to be a nurse. And let me explain. Let me take this little tangent because I always talk about this. Get in your prayer closet. And I mean it. But I was so young, didn't really understand who God was and not just who his characteristics were. I didn't know God. For me, I didn't know our relationship. I didn't really have a relationship with the Lord. I still went to church because it was like a religious thing. I just went to attend to say, hey, I went to church. And I said my grace. I had worship and talked to the Lord every now and again, but not to the level that I'm at now. And so because I was so young, not really knowing anything, yeah, that first time on the merry-go-round, I ended up pregnant. Yep, that's right. That's what it is. That is what happened to me. That's my life story. And I did not think about being a single mom because we were so good. Our relationship was going well. But later on, probably a little while after my son was born, I'm not going to get into what happened while I was pregnant. That's a story for another time. But when I really realized that I was going to be a single mother, I went to call him. And this is back in the day. I heard like that sound like doo 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 doo. The number you have reached, subscriber GRN4, cannot be reached. If you feel like you have reached this number in error, please dial again. Click up. Like that's what I heard. That was a message where I was like, oh, so we're changing numbers, are we? And not going to inform me like you have a whole baby in this world. You know what I'm saying? And it was in that moment I was like, oh snap, like, oh, I'm alone. I have been abandoned to raise this child by myself. Mind you, I am 20 years old. Let me not go down there too far. But it was in that moment that I realized that I was a single mother. Now, this is probably going to hurt, and I hope it do, honestly, because some of y'all need to be slapped into reality to understand when you spreading your cinnamon sticks, there are consequences. Yeah, I said it. Because some of us are so accustomed to busting it wide open for anybody, anywhere, at any time. Not realizing that, you know what, it creates life. Yeah, think about that. So for me, I wasn't even cognizant of the fact that, oh my goodness, this particular act could create a life. I had no concept. Now I want y'all to understand that I grew up in a household that was very, I'll say, like, religious. We didn't have a birds and the bees talk, so I was just out there like, okay, what is this? Is this como se dice, a salchicha? I really didn't know what it was and what the consequences were from an act I was participating in that I should not have been outside of covenant. And trust me when I tell you, this is not something I want to talk about, because there is such shame attached to having a child outside of wedlock. And I just want to free so many women from feeling that shame, because it's just like anything else that is an act of sin, if you will, because fornication is a sin. So if you're in it, understand that's what it is. And so for me, once I don't even know if I could conceptualize that is exactly what I was doing, because me and the Lord, it was just like, he was like an old friend. If I see him, like, what up now? And I kept it moving. It wasn't really like, oh Lord, I have removed my panties and committed this sin. It was not that. I could not understand why I was suffering the plight of single motherhood. Because for me, it was just all fun and games. I was young in my prime, having a good time. And what happened? Life was created. And so understand this. Once I realized, oh, it's just me and my son, I was about business. Do you hear me? Everything was about business. When I was in college, when I had time after I had my son, I went back to school. Maintaining a 4.0 GPA while I was working was about business. It wasn't about making friends. It wasn't about frat parties. It wasn't about any of that. It was a business because I understood it was me and me alone. The child support that I eventually got when my son was 3 was, let's see if I can do the math. It was $3 and I think 70 cents a day. A day. A day. That's all I was getting. Okay. And then I think I only got that for 9 months. And then he must have realized, oh, they started to garnish my wages. Nah, bruh, I'm good. And I wasn't getting any more child support. Okay. And so it wasn't something that I could depend on. And those of you who are abusing child support, God gonna get you. Because when you have the responsibility of life that you have created, now understand, all things being equal, if you had no say in the matter, meaning the R word, and then you created life, I am not talking about that. I'm talking about people who consented to bust their cinnamon sticks open and create life. And there are some of us, because I told you I ain't holding back no more. There are some of us who are sleeping with men who aren't even in a relationship with us. Some of us are giving up our bodies, our whole bodies, exposing ourselves to disease. Some of y'all are getting beat up by women and men because you have no business being in a relationship with them. None whatsoever. One, because you're not in your prayer closet, no way. And there are some of us who are choosing to be a single mom. I wish I bought a ponytail holder because I'm getting hot. Because there are some of us who are making a conscious decision to be alone raising a child. And I don't care what you say, like, nah, I didn't choose. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because if you're in a relationship with a man outside of covenant, meaning you're having premarital sex, I'm not talking about those people who are already married and then there is a divorce, something happens, and then you become a single mother, or the spouse has died and then you become a single mother. No, pay attention. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women who are out there dating like it's a game. You're out there procreating, laying out there generational curses for your children to suffer through because you so busy about getting some bumps and humps in the bed. That's the problem that I'm talking about. When I say no more single moms, that's what I mean. Like, do you understand you are being detrimental to your community? You are tearing up the fabrics of your society. And if there are men who are watching this, zip your pants up and learn how to be a man. Stop tearing down the fabrics of our society. There are so many men, black men, white men, Asian, whatever culture, whatever it is that you are, who are just sleeping with women. Who let them? Let's be clear. You're just sleeping with them, creating life, and then you're walking away. Like my father used to say, Pat and Charlie, you're just using your legs and you're walking away after you have created life. And for me, that's a perplexity that I will never understand, because you have chosen to create life and then you walk away like it's nothing. And you're leaving these children with irreversible ramifications because they do not have a father in their life. And to the women to the women out there who have men, who are trying to do the best that they can, who are trying to be decent fathers the best way they know how, and you so mad because he don't want to be with you because he done moved on, take that L and get over it. Get over it. Because your job is to be the best mother that you can to your children, not worried about some man or who he's slinging his situation with. There's so many women who are caught up, stuck on a man that they probably should have never been with in the first place. And then there's having child after child after child. And when are you going to wake up and get the lesson? Get the lesson. Like I tell you right now, I have made my mistakes. That's why I'm here to tell you, Lord Jesus, I am sweating. I'm here to tell you, don't make the same ones. If you have your V card, sis, you better keep it, lock it, keep it up tight until God has revealed covenant for you. When I say no more single moms, stop where you are. If you're a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, stop where you are. Because there are some of us who will get with a man knowing he got 5 kids, 3 baby daddies, and ain't taking care of not any one of them. And somehow, that's still appealing to you. Somehow he looked good to you being a busted, broke, and disgusted human being by not taking care of his children. That has never been appealing. It should not be appealing. I don't care what he offers. If he paying your bills, I don't care what he doing. If he laying down the game so well in the bed, let me take a break because I'm getting excited. But the problem with some of us is that we're so stuck on a man that we will take our lives and just throw them in the toilet. We're putting GPS on his car. We got apps on his phone, trying to worry about who he's talking to, where's he going. Do you have that same energy for your children? Do you keep an eye on where your children are going, where they are, what they're doing, instead of the man who you're sleeping with, probably more than likely in fornication? And if you think this conversation is coming off judgmental and I'm looking down on someone, I'm not. Like I told you in the beginning, rewind it if you need to go back and refresh your memory. I'm here to give a testimony to help save someone, to get somebody who is living a life, 1, that God is not pleased with. 2, so you do not create more life and you're already struggling. Like there's this lady, won't name names, confidentiality. And after you've suffered through the first situation of being with a guy who's not taking care of his kids, I'll give you 2. Maybe the second one was going to do right and he thought he was going to love you and he didn't. But once you start to get on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children, when you're going to wake up, read the King James Version and get your life together. Because it is not just you. Like, don't you get it? Don't you get, like, the things we see in our society where there are children who are bullying other kids or, God forbid, taking weapons into school and really causing destruction in other people's life? It starts at home. Like, I just want you to get this and understand, like, we as mothers have such power that God has given us, not to be abused. But we are the voices that whisper to our babies. We are the ones. And some of y'all got the baby listening to Rob Wade and Young Baby and whoever else out there, rappers, I don't really know. Those 2 just popped in my head. Whatever it is y'all listen to, tearing up their brains. Now for me, I don't know, my baby was listening to Mozart in the womb. Just because. Meanwhile, on the outside, I was bumping Busta Rhymes and Wu-Tang Clan. But I wasn't going to feed that to my baby. Like I told you, no judgment over here. I'm going to tell you the truth. But we have to be able to take the responsibility into our own hands. Like there are women who talk about, like, the guy isn't anything and he's, a deadbeat. But guess what, sis? Guess what? It takes 2 to make a thing go right. Like, you were there. You were there. So you can't just say it's just this person. Yes, and for me, my son's father chose to walk away and not be a part of my son's life, which is all good. Now, because I done prayed up and I have forgiven him. But I'll be doggone if I'm going to take 2 decades of my life, my son's life, and be angry over something I can't control. Because you can't force a man to be a father. You just can't do it. I don't know if some of you probably have tried. You're probably angry now, going to bed crying because you think you're going to force a man to be a father, and that's not going to happen. You best get in your prayer closet and just turn him over to the Lord. Turn him over to the Lord. And that's what I did. I took my son's father. I put his name on a prayer list. Now what he does is between him and the Lord. And yes, there were tears. I cried nights that I thought like, man, I thought this would be the day that he would wake up and want to do right by his children. But no, it has yet to come to fruition. I'm sure YouTube, if it happens, you guys will be the first to know. Because I'll be like, Lord, look how the Lord do answer prayers. He really has revealed something in my life. And that would be a testimony. But until then, we must work at being the best mothers that we can. You aren't both. Hate to break it to you, but you aren't both. You're not a mother and a father. That's not how God created us anatomically wise. We're not both. We're a mother. And we need to learn how to use the skills that God has given us. And if you don't know, man, I was going to say go to the library, but who does that anymore? Google, read a book, because that's what I had to do. To learn how to parent, to understand that I'm a woman and my son is a male. And I had to figure out how to navigate that, because there are certain things a little boy needs and there's certain things a little girl needs. And I had to realize how I could give that to my son, what I could give to my son. And some of us are so stuck on just being how our parents were, and whether that was good or whether that was bad. And if you're in a situation where it's just you and your children, yeah, it's going to be rough. I hate to break it to you. It's going to be rough. And I'll end with this, because I got to tell you, I am really perspiring. But if you are wondering and ready to date while you're a single mother, you have bigger issues than worried about who you're going to post on social media. Because there are some of us who are so ready to date, you're barely healed from the scars of the previous relationship. And we're so ready to get back into the dating scene and to move on. And it's nothing wrong. Understand that. It's nothing wrong with wanting to date while you're a single mother. But that must not take precedent over you being a mother. Because I have seen some ladies who are very much concerned about the exterior, how they look and everything, and their brain cells are lacking. Okay? You're getting all kind of game ran upon you because you're so worried about dating a man and you're not worried about being a mother first. Like, don't you understand? God gave this child to you as a gift. And he cares more about the lessons and the moral values that you are instilling in your children than your social media status being changed. And I just wish and hope and pray that there will not continue to be an epidemic of single mothers. Because it's almost as if it's the norm. Like, do you understand that's not how God wanted it to be? Like the nuclear family, a mother, a father, and children. That is what God designs. And yes, I understand there are extenuating circumstances where you have a bonus mom and a bonus dad. I get all that. Let's not get caught up in semantics. What I'm saying is, God did not intend for us women to just have children by ourselves, not get the lesson, and keep doing it over and over and over again. Because believe it or not, you are damaging your children and society. Now just take that in. And I know there are some people who don't care. Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. It's my life. I don't care. You're going to reap what you sow. Because it's one thing when you do something in ignorance and you don't know any better. God will cover you and your mistakes and make a way for redemption. But when you're outright committing sin, not caring about who you hurt, bringing children into the world all willy-nilly, you are going to pay a price. So with that being said, welcome to the new format, and thank you so much for watching.